Alright guys, Darren from FBA Elite and welcome back to another video. So this week I have had a bit of a revelation when it comes to analysing my own products, and I'm going to come back to that in a moment. As many of you will be aware of by now, that recently I have been at the product research stage looking for my next product, which hopefully I'm going to add to my existing successful Amazon FBA products. And as part of that journey I have been documenting on YouTube the point I've basically been at. So for the past few weeks I've been at product research, so I released a video which was a product research cheat sheet, which many of you guys have watched and have commented on, and also more recently I released a video showing you the top 5 methods that I'm using to find products on Amazon FBA that I plan to sell in 2021. Now both of those videos, I did say if you had any questions about product research to post them in the comments and I'll answer them in the following videos. Unfortunately, I forgot to do that last week, so I'm going to answer all of the questions from both of those videos at the end of this video. So if you had any questions in the comments about product research, I will answer them at the end of this video. But going back to this week's video, and pretty much probably what is going to be the title or the thumbnail at least of this video, and that is, at the moment, I would not buy my own products. So what do I mean by that? Well, when I was going through the product research stage of looking for new products, I took a bit of time to actually look at my existing products and just put myself in the position of the customer. And the reason that I did this is that I was buying something else completely unrelated to my own products this week. So I was buying a bike light for a pram so I can actually see where I'm driving in the evening when I'm pushing my son about on his pram. But I was looking at the products on that page and I couldn't tell the difference between them all. I mean, there were so many bike lights that all just look the same, maybe slightly different shapes. But let's take a look. If I go to our front bike light is what I was looking for. I'll give you an idea of what I was talking about. So I hit this page, just saw all of these lights, and literally I just wanted a light for my pram. I looked for pram lights first, but they were all pretty rubbish, so I looked at bike lights instead. And I got to this page and I really struggled to, I looked at these briefly. It's quite difficult to choose between these unless you really know what you're looking for. So in the end I was largely led by price. I just took a punt on one that's like £10 and actually it worked out really well. But then it got me thinking, a lot of customers are doing this. They're not looking into it in the detail that we analyse our products and all of the USPs that we come up with. Most customers aren't actually getting there. You know, they are making the decision probably based on this, your actual main photo, and this, your price, and probably to an extent the review score depending on the type of product you're selling. But a lot of our USPs that we kind of cram into our titles or into our second or third images or into our bullet points or descriptions, they're not as important as we think we are. You know, if I be honest with myself, when I make a decision, I'm normally making it based on the photo, the price, and usually the review score. I might have a click through to the reviews depending on how much I'm actually spending. But for the most part, I don't get too hung up in the detail. And when I assessed my own products in that way, because of the niches that I'm in and the way they've developed over the last year or two, the niches aren't as simple and as easy to compete in as they once were. So whereas I used to have a great product in a poor niche, now I've got a great product in a niche full of other great products. And when I look at them side by side and just judge them based on not knowing what I know about the products, you know, the real details I know from having samples and having tested the competitors. But when I assess them as kind of a, you might say, a virgin customer perspective of, oh, I need to buy this, look at these photos, look at these prices, which one should I pick? I couldn't honestly say that I would pick my own product. So that's not a good position to be in for these existing products, but it also is an important lesson to learn when you're trying to choose a product for yourself. You know, when you're choosing a product, when you're choosing a niche to get into, imagine you are the customer. You've come to this page, you're selling a bike light maybe. How are you going to stand out? You know, why is someone going to look at this page and click on your listing or choose you over all of these other listings? And not only that, you've got obviously the challenge that you're going to be a brand new product, so you're going to have very little reviews. You won't have organic ranks really either, so your only chance really of appearing is with these sponsored ranks at the top. So imagine this, you're appearing as a sponsored product with very few reviews as a brand new product. How are you going to convince someone to buy your product, and how are you going to do that visually other than just with having a low ball price? So always think about your VSP, which is your visual selling point, which is something I go on about again and again. I need to kind of reconsider my existing products to make sure as we go forward that the sales don't decline too much as those niches become too saturated, because I think if I lose ranks now, I'm going to struggle to regain them, as I just don't have strong enough selling points that are visually clear when compared against the new competitors that have appeared in all of those niches over the last year or two. So that's why at the moment I honestly probably would not buy my own products, despite the fact I know they're good. If I treated them as if I didn't know my product, I'd probably pick one of the competitors based on price, maybe, as on the face of it, there doesn't appear to be that much between them. So always keep that in mind. It's not what you know is the difference between your product and someone else, it's what you can get across to the customer. So hopefully you guys will find that useful. But going back to product research in general, these are the two videos I was talking about. One was the cheat sheet. So if you haven't checked out this video, I'd strongly recommend doing that. And the other one is the product research tutorial, the top 5 methods that I'm currently using to find products for me to sell in 2021. So there were lots of comments on this video, so I'm just going to go through. Hopefully you guys will find them useful. And if you have any questions about anything to do with Amazon FBA, post them in the comments and I'll try and read them in a future video. So the first comment is from myself, which is affiliate links to Helium 10. So if you haven't tried Helium 10 yet, give those links a go. It'll give you a nice discount on Helium 10. Some feedback here from Daniel. I love the new format with viewer questions at the end. Yes, sorry I did not do that on the last video. I completely forgot until I'd already put it through production. That's why I'm doing 2 videos in one when I answer the questions this time around. The length is fine and will allow you to make more money on YouTube. Yes, YouTube does prefer longer videos, unfortunately. I generally don't make videos that are that long, so maybe these questions will help the algorithm and help the channel continue to grow. And seeing people's questions from 1 week does bring more diversification to the topics. That's true. People come at it from all different aspects, so the type of questions we get may help different people in different ways. Potential for a great A to Z tutorial in an improved format and with you now having more experience. Yeah, I went through this before when I launched the channel and when I was launching my first product. I tried to document it as I went, so hopefully by doing it now with a couple of years experience and obviously working with lots of different people through FBA Elite and mentoring them, that by doing it again, hopefully the information I'll give you will be even more valuable and up to date. So next comment, great video Darren, love the videos, the content, thanks for sharing. Oh, and I've never noticed how fast you speak. I think I kind of speed up when I get to the comments as there's so much to get through. But otherwise, slow me down, hit the cog on the YouTube icon and slow me down. What I usually do, to be honest, when I'm on YouTube, I hit the cog icon and watch everyone at 1.5 speed, because if I'm watching someone doing an Amazon FBA video, they send me to sleep usually, so I have to watch them 1.5 speed just to get that information as quickly as possible so I can move on to the next. How have you found uploading pictures to Amazon FBA and their customer service? It's useless. Yeah, I did a video about my experience with someone changing one of my photos and it taking almost a week to get those photos put back. So uploading pictures to Amazon FBA is a real challenge. I'd recommend looking into the inventory upload tool, which is a spreadsheet based system that seems to work a lot better. And the customer service is useless. Yes, anyone getting into Amazon FBA, if you are not already aware, Amazon customer service, or should I say seller support, is absolutely useless. Just want to jump out of my bedroom window. Yeah, I'm sure many FBA sellers have felt that way at some point. Just persist with it. It just takes consistency and persistence with support to get where you need to get. Darren, as usual, short and sweet. Well, I haven't heard that before. We have a lot of really useful information. Thank you. How do you go about selling on Amazon with the 200 units restriction? You'll probably need to use a 3PL, which is a third-party logistics company where you import more than 200 units, send 200 to Amazon, send the rest to the storage facility. Then as you start selling, you'll get them to drip feed stock into Amazon and hopefully your inventory limits will increase. Up next we have Daniel King. Hi Darren, firstly great video again and a checklist is a great idea. Secondly, a bit of a cheeky idea but thought I would shoot my shot. What's your thoughts on helping someone get their first product set up on Amazon and documenting their progress for your channel? It would be great for everyone to see your reasoning why you would caution some product ideas they have and view you in action. Yeah, it's a good idea. The question is, people probably wouldn't be too happy to share the exact products they're looking at. I've already had followers copy my products, which sucks, so I wouldn't want to do it to someone I'm helping as well. It could even help with new video ideas. Yeah, it definitely would make for a good video series, but I think the potential risk to that person probably wouldn't be worth it. Up next, hi, great videos. I have a question regarding product research. On the cheat sheet you said you look to 2 to 3 sellers with less than 100 reviews. Would that mean if 3 to 4 sellers have more than 1,000 reviews but 2 to 3 sellers on the first page have less than 100, then that product is still viable? I try not to get too hung up on exact numbers or exact figures. Everything I put in the cheat sheet is just general rules. So it'd be very much overall feel I get from that niche. The reason I look for 2 to 3 sellers who are less than 100 reviews, as it just verifies that as a new seller with low reviews, there is an opportunity for you to appear on the front page. If there's a few sellers with 1,000 reviews, that wouldn't really bother me, providing there are sellers with low reviews that have still been able to achieve ranks on that first page. Hello Darren, thanks for another informative video. You're welcome. I have 5 questions. I think we might be into mentorship territory here. Do you have to provide the supplier with any other details than the FNSKU, FBA order reference, delivery address? Let me just think. I normally give my supplier the delivery address, the order reference, that's normally I'll give to my freight forwarder, and the FNSKU, they don't need to know, it's FBA. So literally it's the FNSKU to go on the product. The labels for the cartons if they're labeling the cartons for you, and the same for the pallets, but it might be that your freight forwarder labels the cartons and pallets instead. It all depends on the product and which freight forwarder you're using. And the delivery address, yep, that will be the delivery address to the Amazon fulfillment center if you're shipping directly to the Amazon fulfillment center. If you're launching a new product, you might be delivering to a third-party logistics, which is 3PL, as I just mentioned previously. Regarding GS1, do you only need a GTIN, ACE, and UPC code if we are selling our own branded items? That actually it's the opposite of that. If you're selling a private label product, you then maybe don't need a GS1 and you can apply for GTIN exemption. You can use a GS1 for private label, and that's what I do, but a lot of people do apply for the GTIN exemption instead. As a private label product, you don't need a GS1 barcode unless you're planning to sell it on other marketplaces other than Amazon. Do you have to register a brand name with Amazon to prove it is trademark? Yes, even if you've got the trademark, you still have to register it with the Amazon brand registry to get the protection. Will Amazon transfer any sales proceeds to the company's account, or will the proceeds sit in an account at Amazon and then we transfer from that account to our company's account? So when you make a sale with Amazon, it's about a week or so, I think after delivery, they release the funds into your Amazon account. Amazon will disperse every 2 weeks by default. I personally disperse every Sunday night, and then it hits my bank account roughly on Thursday or Friday, depending on how quick Amazon are. So I disperse manually once a week. Some people disperse daily. If you leave it to them, they'll disperse every 2 weeks. I know that FBA fees have tax applied that is automatically paid, but do we have to pay VAT ourselves when we make a sale, or does it automatically get deducted once a sale has been made? So it depends if you're VAT registered or not. If you're not VAT registered, you don't have to do anything with that yourself. Amazon will still charge you VAT on the Amazon fees. But when you become VAT registered, Amazon will zero rate 2 of your fees. So your referral fee and your fulfillment fee will be zero rated, as they are invoiced from Amazon Luxembourg, I believe. Amazon Marketing, which is Amazon sponsored ads, your PPC, you'll still pay the VAT on that as that's invoiced by Amazon UK, so you'll claim that back. And the VAT on the product itself that you sell, Amazon will pay that to you, and then you'll declare that as part of your quarterly VAT return, and you'll then pay that VAT to the HMRC minus any VAT you would have paid on your sponsored ad or anything else related to Amazon where you've actually paid out that VAT. I hope that makes sense. If not, go back and watch it again in slow-mo. Up next, we have JMO78. Great video as always. A question: are things like PPC, photography products, and trademarking fall under the tax write-off umbrella? Yeah, PPP is a business expense, photography is a business expense, and trademarking is a business expense. So in theory, you can put them through as business expenses, and that will help reduce your corporation tax liability. Hi Darren, do you know a good storage place in the UK that store and replenish Amazon when we need it? I am currently using Westbound Logistics for the first time. I have a shipment that is awaiting delivery at Felixstowe. At the moment, it's supposed to be delivered a week ago, but there's big delays at Felixstowe, which is no reflection on Westbound Logistics. That is purely what's happening at the port. So although I'm using them, I have no first-hand experience of them actually sending on the stock onto Amazon. So this massive order I've got coming in is going to Westbound, and then over the next few months I will be using them to see how I get on. But I can't say whether they're any good at the moment, but I have spoke to other people who said they've had good experience, so that is who I am using. Bella says, what are the requirements to open Amazon FBA account at the first place? I would go to the Amazon FBA sign up page. It should tell you everything you need to know on there. I second the idea of a step-by-step checklist. Another question, how does working with freight forwarders look? So the checklist is something I will probably put together, which will give you everything you need to know kind of from start to finish that you should be doing. To be fair, if you look at most Amazon FBA courses and you look at the course modules, you'll get an idea of all the things you need to do. So for example, if I actually went to the FBA Elite website, went to the resource section, which is where we have all of our discounts and stuff like that. I've actually got a link to the course that we recommend, and on here we have a module list. So if you wanted a checklist, I mean, you could follow through Jansen's course here, and that gives you kind of all of the things you might need to consider. So you can use this course module guide as basically a checklist of all the things you need to make sure you do when you're doing Amazon FBA. But that's a bit of a hacky solution, but you guys might find it useful until I put together my very own checklist. With regards to working with freight forwarders, I think I've already covered that very briefly, but effectively, if you are using a freight forwarder, I normally put them in direct contact with my supplier. So I'll say to my supplier, I'm using this freight forwarder, put them in direct contact. They will arrange the collection date, which is usually a few days after the manufacturer has completed putting the products together. Then the freight forwarder takes over from there. But we can certainly do a more detailed discussion on freight forwarders. I'm going to do a video on freight forwarders importing from China again in the coming weeks, as that is one of the stages that I'll be going through as part of launching this new product. I briefly looked into it a while back and found it hugely complicated, so backed out. Also, do you recommend getting DTP shipping or something else? It's lots easier than you realise, so if you do get to that stage, get onto the FBA Elite forums, make a post on there, and we can help you out with the freight forwarder. DTP is certainly something to consider if you've got a small and light product that you want to air freight over using usually the supplier's courier or the supplier's shipper. DTP is something to consider. I've used that for small and light products. Would you recommend not finding a freight forwarder and just trust the supplier with transportation to an Amazon warehouse? Do you recommend customizing boxes, e.g. sticker label? Okay, so there's two questions there. Do I recommend using a freight forwarder? Use the freight. If I'm sea shipping, I'm going to use a freight forwarder. Pretty much guaranteed I'm going to use a freight forwarder if I'm sea shipping. If I'm using air freight stroke DDP shipping via air freight, then I will see how the prices stack up. See what the supplier offers me. See what's available from the freight forwarder and what's available from the supplier. Do the calculations, see what is more cost effective. And do you recommend customizing boxes? Depends on the types of product you're selling. Some products the packaging doesn't really matter as long as it keeps it safe. People aren't buying those products as gifts, but if you're buying something that is very giftable, the packaging is much more important. Inserts. The insert is the only thing that you can guarantee a customer is going to get. With your insert, make sure it's valuable. Don't just make it a review request. Make sure there's something super valuable on the insert, even if it's just the instructions. But think about it, if you just got an insert in your product and it just said, can you leave us a review? You're probably going to toss it in the bin. But if there's something valuable on that, something that you're going to keep, and then at the bottom maybe there's, oh, would you mind leaving us a review? There's a better chance that that insert may get the review that you were trying to achieve in the first place. What Amazon warehouses do you pick in the UK? The one closer to you or just in any country? You don't have any control over that. When you create a new shipment in Seller Central, Amazon will automatically assign a fulfillment center for that shipment. Now, sometimes you'll get a fulfillment center that maybe you don't want to use because you've heard bad things about it on the forums, and you'll probably hear bad things about pretty much every fulfillment center at some point. But if that is the case, sometimes delete the shipment, come back a day or two later, create the shipment again, and you might get a different fulfillment center. Not always, but sometimes you will. Mick Birch isn't very happy. Maximum of 200 items. The rest goes to free PL drip feeding. To Jeff Bozai at £6 a time for 20 of my items. Endless extra pounds out of my pocket. Amazon has well and truly outgrown itself. After 1 year, I'm out. Yeah, I can understand that. It does seem to be becoming more difficult. But at the same time, hopefully that means maybe that we'll end up with less competition at some point. If it becomes that difficult, maybe people will stop selling. If there's one more seller we've lost, we've probably gained another 10 in the meantime. But yeah, Amazon isn't as easy as it used to be. They are putting more restrictions in it all the time. And sometimes it does feel like Amazon are taking us for mugs a bit, the amount of money they take from us. However, they are offering this amazing opportunity, which you could generate an awful lot of money with a very passive lifestyle. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. And you guys know that I'm completely honest about Amazon, and I'm very unhappy with many of the things that they do. But overall, the opportunity, the lifestyle benefits it brings me, and the time it allows me to spend with my family and doing the things I want to do, versus these trade-offs of dealing with these crappy situations every now and again, for me, it is still worth it. Thanks, Darren. How do we check for trademarks and patents? Just go onto Google. If you're in the UK, just do UK trademark search or UK patent search. One of them, I think, takes you to a general EU search, especially the patents. That's where I go. Finally, we have Randy on this video saying, hi, Darren, loving the channel. Please excuse me at this one. Is a bit off topic. However, I was wondering if there's anything that you do after sales with your customers. Do you follow up with them to try and build a relationship for future sales? Anything like that? We're extremely busy with sales, but debating what we can do after the sales to engage with our customers. Personally, no. With so many restrictions restrictions being introduced by Amazon about how we can actually communicate with our customers, I actually do everything I can to avoid contacting the customer unless I absolutely have to. I'll only contact them usually if they've contacted me in the first place, as I just can see somehow Amazon's bots or algorithms detecting something within a message and saying it's against TOS. So that's the way I do it. I just say, look, this is a one-off sale. You've got the insert that you can work with, but I wouldn't try and follow up with any email campaigns or anything like that. Think about your product insert is probably your best way of developing that customer into a potential future customer for future products. We also have this video which has a lot less questions. So this is just my top 5 product research methods for 2021. Top comment again is my Helium 10 affiliate links, so make sure you give that a go. One thing actually I did realize this week is some people have been signing up for annual plans. Now if you sign up for an annual plan, Helium 10 will give you 2 months free anyway, but if you combine the annual plan with Helium 10 with the 10% off code, then overall you get a 25% discount for the year. So it is quite a good saving. If you're serious about Amazon FBA, you're probably going to need the software for a year. So I would recommend going that route if you've got the money to do it, because it will save you a fair chunk and you'll have a really good piece of software to help you on your Amazon FBA journey for the entire year. Well, thanks Darren. I love the Store Raider method. Yeah, Store Raider has always been one of my favourite methods. It just helps keeping things fresh when you're going down the product research rabbit hole. You never know what you're going to find. It's also great to see new products those sellers are launching. Yeah, I follow a lot of my competitors and then see when they launch a new product, I think, oh, that might be a good idea. Let's see if I can copy and adapt their idea. Thanks for the tips, appreciated. I posted a question in the comments from 2 weeks ago. Are you thinking of addressing them in your next video? I'm hoping that's a video I just covered. If I've missed it, let me know in the comments. The question was, what sort of weight range do you think is sensible to aim for first products? So I didn't answer that because I haven't recognised that question. What sort of weight range? It depends on the product. You know, I wouldn't rule out a product based on weight alone. I would try to avoid anything that would send me into the oversized category, and you can see all of the dimensions and stuff on the Amazon website. Other than that, it's more about the overall product opportunity itself. I'd rather be selling a 2 kilogram product that I feel a lot of confidence in, that I see ship in and have to wait 8 weeks for it to arrive, versus something that was really small and light that I could fly in 2 weeks that maybe I have less confidence in. So think about the overall opportunity. Weight is just one of the variables within a much bigger decision as to what is the right product for you to launch. Thanks Darren, I like your ideas. By the way, who is your favourite 3PL? As I just mentioned, I'm trying Westbound Logistics for the first time. Other than that, I can't recommend anyone else. Thanks for the good tip, you're welcome. Mellapage says, another great idea is to look on websites, i.e. John Lewis / Wayfair, to see what they are selling. I get a lot of ideas from John Lewis. Yeah, that's a great idea. Look at some of the other websites. You know, I go on to Etsy sometimes to get ideas for products to sell. Alas, I have not found a product yet because I've come across so many that I simply cannot decide which one to go with. So that's a good problem to have. Hopefully that's a problem I'm going to have when I actually get into my own product research this week. So hopefully you guys have found it useful. You know, think about what I said at the start of this video. Imagine the product that you're going to be developing in the search results against all of the other products that are there. How are you going to stand out? Why would someone buy your product? Be honest with yourself. If you're going to be a customer that doesn't know very much about your product, would you buy it? If yes, then maybe you've got a great idea. If no, think about how you can develop that product further. If you did find this video useful, I'd really appreciate it. You can scroll down, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to discuss Amazon FBA with myself and over 2,000 other people in a similar situation, head over to fbaelite.com, sign up to the forums. We've got over 2,000 members there talking about Amazon FBA. And I'll see you guys on the forums.